Welcome to today's coffee break. Today we're going to talk about defaulting expense accounts on the vendor cards. So a lot of times people want to know, I have a vendor, they send me an invoice every month. It's always the same GL account, and they don't want to have to go through and select that GL account every time. So this is one way that you can sort of default that. And let's just jump right in. So I'm going to go to the vendor card. We're using something called the recurring lines to do this. So go to the vendor. Okay, and we'll just pick our first up consultants. All right, once you're in the vendor card, you can go to Navigate, Purchases, and we're looking for the recurring purchase lines. Just so you know, this is on the sales side too, but for today we're doing this. The recurring purchase lines. So click on that, and I need to create a code for this particular purchase line. Now, what I want to do for the code is I want to put the vendor's account because this is the default for that vendor's account. Technically, you could have one code that goes to multiple vendors, but just to make things easy, I'm going to sort of do a one-to-one relationship. This is the default account for this vendor. So I'm going to click on this. Oh, I actually have one. Let's take a look at it. Let's do a new one so you can see it done. All right. So what I want to do is this is their code and this is their name. So I'm going to put the name in here first up. Consultants. Okay. If there is a currency code that needs to be defaulted, we could select that here. And now what we do is we're entering the lines. So we have a few options here. We can put a default comment, GL account, item, fixed asset, or charge item. Now in this case, these are consultants, and I want to select a GL account. And what will happen is once I've created this recurring code or these recurring lines, they will get applied to the purchase invoice that comes in, and the default account will be established on that invoice. So I click on the GL account, and I'm going to go ahead and use, I have like a miscellaneous expense account. I'll use that. And I'm going to overwrite the description and just say it's business consulting. Okay. And I'll put a quantity of 1. And we'll see this come into the lines. Now, like I said, you could put multiple lines in here. So you could have, in other instances, a bunch of items and maybe a GL account for freight. You can put in fixed assets. You have a lot of flexibility here, but for today's purposes, I just want to show you setting up a very simple expense account. So I click OK. And now I can choose basically what I want to have happen with this code. So I can say, okay, go ahead and insert the recurring lines on quotes. We'll have it ask. Go ahead and insert the recurring lines on orders. Again, I'm going to set that to always ask. Insert the recurring lines on invoices, always ask, and on credit memos, always ask. So now that that has been set, let's go ahead and see this in action. Okay, now I can go to New Document, and we'll go ahead and create a purchase invoice. Now, as soon as I press Enter, I get this pop-up at the top that says recurring purchase lines exist for the vendor. Do you want to insert them into the document? Remember we said always ask? Well, there you go. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Get Recurring Lines. And here it is. This is the one I created, and I click OK. Now I could have overwritten this description to be business consulting or something. It just defaulted to the name of the vendor, but you could change that so that it's a little bit more meaningful to you in case you have multiple codes. But I'm just going to click this line, OK. And now it enters, whoops, I'm wildly clicking here. It enters the GL account line with that miscellaneous expense and my description and a quantity of 1. I could overwrite that and say, okay, it's 40 hours this time, and here's the rate, and now I'm ready to post. So just sort of eliminates some of that guessing as to which accounts go with which vendors and makes it a little bit easier. That concludes today's coffee break. I hope you find this useful.
Thanks for watching this ArcherPoint video. If you found it helpful, make sure to check out our website and blog at www.archerpoint.com. Additionally, if you have any questions regarding our products, services, or information in this video, feel free to email us at info@archerpoint.com. Thanks.